Hi everyone, we're going to take a look at the lower timeframes, and sometimes they're not very clear, as is the case right now with what is happening over here. However, I will explain to you the scenarios that I have and my thoughts with them, so please let me know in the comments what you think is most likely at the moment. My medium time frame, to at least bring you a little bit of perspective, is the following count, where we have an extended wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the most common target for wave 5, if wave 1 is extended, is in between the 0.618 and the 0.786, which is basically between 28.9k and 30.4k. So this is a very important area for Bitcoin, and as you can see on the medium time frame, or actually the lower time frame as well, of course, we hit this area over here, and what is common with Elliott Waves is to ladder into a position inside the target area, stop loss above, trading it to the downside in this particular scenario. But if we then go more locally and into the lower time frames, things are not that clear. So personally, I'm still thinking about more upside to come. We have some nice confluence over here. We have the 30k area, and also at the moment, this structure over here doesn't yet look very bearish. So when I think about certain scenarios, well, I have wave 4 ending over here. So the blue count then being a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ending wave 4 over here is the nicest in my opinion. If we now moved up, then come down again for maybe wave 4 here, well, I don't really like that, because below these wicks over here that we made, there is not much support. So if this is going to be some sort of a WXY scenario, then you have to swing failure pattern these double lows over here. So basically that means that once price comes to the downside, what we want to see is, if that happens, of course, we take these lows with a wick, close above, and then move to the upside. However, that would be the same type of trade we've done earlier over here with this low and this low over here. This was also a swing failure pattern trade, wicking below these double lows over here, closing above, trading it to the upside towards this double top. So basically what this range has done, it has taken the double lows, it has taken the double top, making the play field very neutral, I suppose. Of course, there's a double low over here, but I do think if price is going to get this low, that we might just continue to the downside. Also, the next potential support area to the downside for me would be this area over here between 24,850 and 24,377. So I wouldn't really like to see price going down here, or, I mean, it's not that I don't like it because we got all the scenarios ready. It's just that I think that if price is going to get this low, I can expect more downside to come. So that is one of the reasons why I like this wave 4 to be finished over here and now being in a wave 5. But if we then look at the structure that is going on at the moment, this looks to be an impulse. And if I'm going to clean the chart actually for a little bit, and we zoom in to the, let's go to the 15-minute right here. So this looks to be an impulsive structure, right? And if we open the volume and we zoom into this impulsive structure, what do we see? Well, this has to be some sort of a 1-2 type of wave, and then indeed volume dying when wave 2 is going on, even though this first wave looks to be a very clear 3-wave structure and not a wave 1. So that is definitely something to think about. This might also be a truncated 5th, so this is actually the end of a 5th wave, which is some sort of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that is very, very, very rare. So that is definitely an alternative type of scenario. If this then is a wave 3 to the upside, we do see volume increasing here, volume increasing, this being a 4 and then this being a 5, the highest volume being in 5, which is usually common for an extended 5th, but not necessarily a 5th wave. But of course, these highs did take the stop losses and the liquidity above these highs, which can be an important reason for the volume being so high at this particular level. Also, if we then zoom in a little bit, how do we count this? So this can be a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 you would expect, but it's not the cleanest impulsive structure as well. So actually what is happening on the lower time frames in the past couple of days is not very clear, and that sometimes happens with Elliott Waves as well, right? With any technical analysis, that sometimes it's best to wait and see. But if we then go through the counts that I have on the lower time frames as well, before I then go into what is happening over here, because with the low time frame scenarios we will go more in detail into what is happening here, and I'll be sharing my thoughts, of course. First, I want to show you the very bullish scenario, and as mentioned already in the previous video, that the more often I'm going to show you this, the less likelier it becomes, because the thing is, you want to have a video from me where eventually I say, hey, we broke up to the upside, we have high volume, big green candles, or gray in my chart, we just move up. But of course we are at very, very important resistance on the high time frame and macro chart as well. So this area over here between 29k and basically 34k, this whole area is super important for the Bitcoin chart. Lots of resistance over here as well. And this scenario is taking ages by now, where we have done a yellow wave 1, yellow wave 2, and then another 1, 2, 1, 2, and we expect a big 3 to the upside. However, volume is not cooperating. It's still going down. Also over here at the moment, volume is going down, down, down. I mean, look how low this volume is that we have at the moment. It's almost like non-existent. Besides volume not taking part into this move to the upside really, except for actually this wave 1, which then could be, well, not in this scenario, it's not extended in this scenario because you have a 1, 2 and expect a green 3 to the upside. However, wave 2 here, rare target. The 382 is a rare target for a wave 2 in an impulse. Also here, if this is another 1, 2, again hitting the rare target. This wave 2 in yellow is very short in time, which is also relatively rare. So we have rare 2. This is a rare case with the 382 over here. This is rare with the 3. So it's just, there's not a lot supporting this scenario at the moment. Then we have the wave 5 scenario already being in. So this is the scenario where this has to be some sort of an impulsive structure. Now, this wave over here, actually, let's take this off. This potential impulsive structure over here is either going to be a wave C, in this then being an A, B, C expanded flat. It's either a wave 1 of then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, likely to be an ending diagonal, and then that is going to be the end of a wave 5, or this is already the end of a wave 5. Like this is the structure that is basically messing up probably most of the Elliott wave counts at the moment. But if we then go to this scenario, yes, wave 5 over here is finished. However, looking at this downside structure at the moment, this is what I'm thinking. It doesn't look impulsive. So if we have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this wave 3 is longer than this wave 1. So this cannot be a leading diagonal unless it is an expanding diagonal, but those are very rare as well. So that's not really something to look for as a starter. It's more like an alternative. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a expanding diagonal. Okay, it is possible. It's just a lot less likely because it is so extremely rare. So can this then be a 1, 2? And then if we choose quickly another color over here, we have another 1, 2. And let me put this yellow. Well, no, we can't, because in this scenario, the yellow 2 over here took the highs of the beginning of the origin of the yellow 1. So this scenario is not possible, which basically brings me to almost like the conclusion that this structure over here is a corrective structure, not an impulsive structure. So it's not like a 1, 2 expecting a big 3 to the downside. Can we find a bit more downside? Sure, but then it has to be some sort of a WXY scenario, which is still a corrective structure where you don't expect the lows over here to be taken, but more upside to be had, again, with the confluences and stuff that we have going on a little bit above us. So in this scenario, wave 5 over here, not too convinced of that at the moment. And also there's no bearish CVD, which basically means absorption of long orders in this scenario, because with bearish CVD, we want to see price eventually going to the downside. And it basically means that if you have a high that you've made and you make a lower high, you want to see on the CVD chart with these lines here at the bottom, you want to see them making a higher high. So a lower high on price, higher high on the CVD, that shows absorption of long orders into a very big bearish position, a short position of a market maker, for example, and then eventually pushing price to the downside. But we haven't seen that as well. So let's go to then another scenario that I have on the chart, which is definitely also an alternative, as almost they are all are at the moment, where wave 5 is already finished. Now this is a little bit weird, because then at the end over here, this is then the lows at 19.5k. We have then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is the current structure in this particular scenario. And the only reason why I haven't taken this off my chart at the moment is because, well, quite simply, it's not yet invalidated, right? So we have then over here a 3-wave 3 and a 3 and then a W. We have an expanded flat, a potential C wave as mentioned over here, this impulsive structure, and then an X for then a potential WXY to the downside in a Y. I'm not really sure if I like this scenario per se, and then liking it like opinion based, of course, because the chart does what it does. But over here we tested this little order block with this wick, moved to the upside very nicely. If we go down below this wick, start to become a little bit shabby. Yeah, I do have a little bit of a support area over here, which has a daily naked point of control. The point of control of this range between 27,162 and 26,936. So yeah, there is a little bit of support, but that has to be the end of this wave. Why? Because again, I don't really want to see price go below these levels if you are looking for more upside. So this is like the final straw, in my opinion, for a potential support area. The reason it's not for this is still a valid scenario is because in this wave X we kind of closed inside the most common target for a wave B then in an expanded flat, or in this case a WXY, where this is an ABC. So the white box that you see over here is the target area for this white wave C, which works perfectly fine, and then you'd be looking for 3 waves. Stop loss in this scenario, the only entry was taking the double top over here, which, you know, was great, but then stop loss break even, especially with the price action here and expecting more upside, if not already taken profits, of course. Then another scenario is this diagonal. Now, yeah, I'm not really a big fan actually of this scenario, especially because we have been ranging ages over here. So it's like, okay, we have this W, we have this X, we have this this Y over here, and yeah, this Y is then taking this low. It's going to enter the support area that we have over here, right? That I've shown you earlier. But that is, again, very deep. And also this structure doesn't look too nice with a WX. So then this is an ABC structure in X. And now we're looking for a downside. But this downside is taking too long, in my opinion. You want to see it go down a lot quicker. Because, again, we are in a WXY. And the wave W and the wave Y have a one-to-one relationship in time. Or at least maybe like the 1.618 relationship in time. But now this wave Y is already taking very long. And if we take the length of wave W in time and then compare it to wave Y at the moment, you can see wave Y, it then already passed the 1.618. So basically it means that this over here is already 161% the length in time compared to wave W. So yeah, wave Y is taking too long, and that's why this scenario is also not a preferred scenario. And then we have this one over here, which at the moment is like the most preferred scenario. However, in an ending diagonal, so then if we zoom out just a little bit, and you don't see the big numbers on the chart, but then we have a 1, 2, 3 over here, 4 ending here, and we're looking for the green 5, right? Ending over here. If I took quickly put on the medium time frame count, waiting for this wave 5, right? So in this scenario, we then have an ending diagonal for this wave 5. Now, an ending diagonal usually is like a 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 type of structure. So you have then a 3 wave, 3 wave, 3 wave, 3 wave, and another 3 wave to then finish this wave 5 before then going to the downside. So in this scenario, this then has to be some sort of a 3-wave structure, which is quite difficult. Again, this wave 1 looks to be a 3-wave structure. So can this then be an A, B, C? Well, if that is the case, this wave C over here is going to be mega stretched, especially because we then expect it to be yeah, how did it go? Let's first check zigzag targets over here. So it definitely crossed the 1.618. So it can't be a zigzag, that's for sure. And if we do this quickly and check the targets then for a wave C in an expanded flat, the 2.618 over here, well, it's not expanded, it must be a regular then. Yeah, targets are also low. So all the targets to the upside, if this is some sort of a 3-wave, first of all, it doesn't look nice at all. But then, yeah, it looks to be an impulsive, like 5-wave structure. Then we have this at least corrective. You could be looking here for then an ABC, which is currently also my preferred scenario, because even though it's not always clear what the count is, based on the follow-up over here and my bias still bullish being at the moment, it would be nice to have this as also an impulsive structure. So we go to the 15 again. And then having a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type of structure, or a 1, 2, 3, 4 over here, and this being 5 doesn't really matter, because this then is the correction, or this is the correction. It both have the same targets, really, not too different. So you have the 382 as a target. The 0.5 is over here, but I removed it because I think the golden pocket has more confluence, also with the target. I have a target box over here with a daily level being there. You have a bit of a breaker, order block, the golden pocket here as well. So that would be nice support if price goes to the downside, which also then explains the trading scenario that I have on my chart, the potential scenario over here, which is not a wave 4, by the way, because we would then still be working on this wave 3, as this then is an A, B, C. However, the wave B minimum target is the 382, and we already hit it, as you can see. So we could already continue our way to the upside. And if we zoom in just a little bit on the CVD chart and see what's been happening on the 15-minute time frame, it's let's have a look here. There's no current, like with this low, for example, over here, we have currently higher lows, but also the CVD is having some higher lows. So there's no divergences per se going on over here. We actually had a little bit of bearishness divergence over here, but that already played out as we took this low. So nothing too crazy. Maybe some bearish divergence, maybe some downside expected, but then over here the blue one is bullish. So again, it's like there is no real clarity in Elliott Waves going on at the moment, or trading in general. The medium time frame and the high time frame and the macro time frame, those are the ones that when you look at the chart, you're like, yeah, you know, this is a clear preferred scenario, this is a clear alternative scenario. It all makes very perfectly sense. But on the lower time frames at the moment, the word clear and sensible is at the moment not that like you can't really see those back in the chart, basically, because it's not too clear what's happening. So yeah, this video might be a little bit of a it's not a rant, of course, but it might be different than the others, because of course usually I have a very clear preferred scenario, but in this case with the lower time frames, I'm basically going through each scenario and just explaining you my thoughts. You know, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible on the channels as well, and in the Discord group, and sometimes you just don't really know, right? And it's no problem to not really know, because the moment we either break to the upside or downside, that is when we really know. Or maybe tomorrow, whatever price is going to do today or tonight, I already know, you know, it's going to be clear. So yeah, let's wait and see. We are going to be patient, but at least sometimes also in Elliott Waves, also with this potential scenario, when you don't really know what is going on, it's best to stay out of the market. Just enjoy your Sunday, have a good weekend, enjoy your time with family and friends, go outdoors like myself, because I'm gonna go climbing in a second. So I'd like to at least thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful or valuable, and also thanks for subscribing. I'll see you at the next one, guys. Bye bye.